Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm Bosssaidno, and we're going to talk about what I personally think are the top 10 coolest things in Pokemon X and Y. Now, obviously, like everyone else says on their top 10s, this is my list. Feel free to get pissed about it, feel free to love it, but it's my list at the end of the day. So let's get started. Number 10, Pokemon X and Y feel like a real 3DS game. I know it's a 3DS game. It says it on the box. I have it right there. But hear me out. I spend most of my time on the joystick, and the way it's 3D kind of reminds me of the old Coliseum and XD Gale of Darkness, and it feels nice. It feels refreshing, as opposed to Pokemon Black and Pokemon Black 2. It's really the same top-down, up, left, right, everything that's we're used to, and the sprites are more or less the same. But now they feel fluid. It's nice, and I understand this is a little bit of a cop-out answer. That's why she's up here at number 10. Number 9, the starters are done correctly. And when I say done correctly, I mean done correctly. Now, growing up, I always picked the water starters. I like them, they're really cool. My buddy always picks the fire starters, so naturally I should kick his ass whenever we meet. But that wasn't always the case. Let's jump to Gen 4. You got Infernape, you got Empoleon. That should never work that way, because I should always be able to be good on him because I'm water, yet he has fighting and I have steel, so it balances itself out. Now in Kalos, if you pick a Froakie and he picks Fennekin, at the end of the day, you're Water Dark, he's Fire Psychic. His Fire's not going to do on you, and you're immune to his Psychic moves. And I feel like that's how starters are supposed to be. It's rock, paper, scissors. You know, rock always beats scissors. Number 8, I love the plot, and I love the new region. See, when it comes to video games, I'm always the kind of guy that loves the lore and loves to immerse myself in the game. And I feel Pokemon X and Y did a great job at that. Kalos feels nice and it's cool to look at, and each part of it has its own identity. And not to say the other games didn't have that. I mean, in fact, quite the opposite. Pokemon's pretty good at establishing a setting that we all learn to love. Also, the story is great. I love the way the team is and how Lysandre wants to kill everyone. But, contrary to what most people are saying, it's really not that new of an idea. I mean, I guess the only one who didn't want to kind of eradicate is Giovanni. He just wanted to be rich and kind of run the place. And you can't run the place if everyone's dead. But if we go to Gen 3, you got Archie and you got Maxie. By creating by dramatically altering the world, people are going to die, a lot of them. If you get rid of the ocean, people, I don't know how that would make them die, but definitely expanding it. All the people that live on the coast, like Lily Cove is fucked, for an example. Sootopolis, yeah, they don't have a clue what's going to go on. They're in their little crater. So he's not, he does bad things too. And Cyrus wanted to literally destroy this dimension and make something new. I think that's pretty bad. That's almost worse than what Lysandre's trying to do. But I love it, and that's why it gets its place on my list. Number 7 is that there's a perfect balance between the old Pokemon and the new Pokemon. And that's really a very important thing, especially from a business standpoint. Because if we rewind the clock back to Gen 3, why was everyone so upset? Because all their buddies that they trained up in Pokemon Red and Blue and Gold and Silver, all those, they didn't get to keep them, and everyone was kind of pissed about it. And they're kind of stuck with new Pokemon and not too much old Pokemon. It caused some big waves. But the second you get your starter, you cross that bridge, you got your Pokedex and some Pokeballs, you could run into a Pidgey, you can go catch Caterpie, Pikachu. There's plenty of old friends and new ones. Plus, you get starters from Kanto. What more could you want? It's a good balance, and I like it. Speaking of a balance between old and new, did I mention that I love the new? In fact, I love it so much that loving the new Pokemon is number 6 on this list. Gen 6 is great, and there's plenty of new Pokemon for all you guys to enjoy if you haven't yet. Personally, I'd have to say Go-Goat and Greninja are probably my 2 favorite Gen 6 Pokemon, but a lot of them are really cool ideas. But to be honest, not Honedge. Sorry, Honedge lovers. I don't really like him that much. Yes! Oh, sorry. Yeah. Next on this list is Super Training. It's great. It's easy to do, and it gets you in the competitive field. Plus, I mean, who doesn't like kicking back and... Number 4 is going to be the balancing of types. And it's not just Fairy versus Dragon, but it's the way that adding one more type changes the way we use the whole competitive game. Look at it this way. How often did you see an Azumarill last gen? Now, I could be completely wrong. For all I know, Azumarill was #1 Pokemon, but you got to admit you're seeing it a lot more. And that's just one thing to say. Because Steel got a lot more fair because it's not resisting Dark as much and Ghost, which is great if you use a Mega Gengar like me. If you don't use a Mega Gengar, go get a Mega Gengar. Speaking of Mega Gengar, #3, Final 3, baby. Mega Evolutions are great. I love them, and it's a great new way to battle online and keep people on their toes. I'd have to say Mega Gengar, if you didn't catch from the previous top, is my favorite Mega. Also, Mega Kangaskhan's pretty damn good. If you didn't know, its little baby fights with it. Who could not love that? Plus, a lot of Pokemon that are kind of underrated, like Manectric and Houndoom, they get Megas too. In fact, there's Megas on Megas on Megas. Ain't nothing but Megas. Now, placing second on my list is going to be the online community as a whole. Now, that includes PSS and Wonder Trade and GTS and Friend Safari. Anything that has to do with online interactions gets this spot on the list, and here's why. I love the fact that everyone is coming together as a Pokemon fan, and I guess that's because there was a worldwide release, and it's just great though because there's nothing more satisfying. You sign online and you see that huge list of people just that you can interact with, you can battle, trade, whatever have you, and it's great. And I feel like that's one of the biggest things Pokemon is all about, community. And speaking of community, you see what I just did there? We're at #1. And what's great about #1 is the way the community is right now because we don't know everything. Look back at Gen 5. Anything you want to know about any single Pokemon item or location was instantly online. I mean, if you're like me and you got into Gen 5 in the beginning of the summer. But this is my list. Anyways, back on track. So the lack of Pokebank and all the information on Smogon and Bulbapedia right when I got the game is great because we're all in the dark together. No one has an advantage over the other one. And the lack of Pokebank is making us use Pokemon we wouldn't normally use. And I feel like that's great because you have to leave your comfort zone and you have to take some risks with training up this Pokemon because you don't know what sets is going to be used and what is supposed to be good with this one and what's bad with that one. You just train up who you like. And it's just like when we were kids. You bet your ass when you were sitting there with red and blue, you didn't do all this competitive stuff. And I love the competition, I really do. But I also love that we're kind of building from the bottom up. Alright guys, there's my top 10 list on Pokemon X and Y. Feel free to like and comment if you enjoyed what you saw. Maybe even hit that subscribe button. Also, tell me what you thought about the game, because I'm sure there are plenty of holes in it. Believe me, I know. Also, if you want to battle me, friend code please, and prepare to lose. I'm Bosssaidno, and I'll see you guys later.